Hey there, future techies. Following on from last week's episode about PayPal, I thought we'd have a look into their old parent company, eBay. eBay is an online marketplace where individuals and businesses can buy and sell just about anything. New or used, antiques old and rare, as well as commonplace items of just about every sort. eBay started back in 1995 and was known as AuctionWeb, before picking up its new name of eBay in 1997. One of the biggest early items that helped eBay put itself on the map was Beanie Babies, which in 1997 made up 10% of the site's transactions. Today, collectibles from Lego to action figures make up millions of items on the site. Getting started on eBay is easy, but I will warn you, stopping might be somewhat more difficult. This is the ebay.com homepage, where you can sign in or register up the top left. Or, in my case, I got a little box that popped up and offered to let me sign in with my Google account over on the top right corner. For the manual registration, you'll need to provide an email address and a password. Or you can just use the Google account and it'll get you started immediately. This is the homepage with a scrolling group of specials at the top, but the almighty search bar in the top middle, which is probably what you'll mostly want to use. Here, a search for Lego brings back over 500,000 options. I'm not going to go through them all. Searching for tools gives you over 2.5 million results returned. This first one actually looks really interesting, if a little sketchy. For $11 we have a 799 piece toolkit in a metal rolling container. Interesting. When you click on an individual item, it pops open in a full display. And here you can click through a whole bunch of individual photos of the item taken from every conceivable angle. In this case, there's quite a lot of stuff. You even get a pair of gloves and some zip ties. Further down, you get some other suggested items, but then you get to the specifics of the item, which in this case doesn't tell you a huge amount, although it does give you the overall dimensions. Then there's some other items from the same seller, and then a full listing of all of the tools that are included in this particular kit. Listed at the bottom are some more items they have for sale, and then some other items that eBay is suggesting to you. Scrolling back up, we see it's a new item, and if we wanted to buy it, we could click on the Buy It Now button. I decided, for the sake of science, I'd log into my normal eBay account and look deeper into this $11 toolkit. It's coming from China, and now that I'm logged into the Australian eBay, it's given me the price in Australian dollars, $16.14. with another $8 something for shipping. But underneath it we have what appears to be the identical item for $50, and then another one for $196 from the US, and 225 Australian dollars for another one shipping from the US. Seems a bit interesting to me. Here's the details page again, and one of the options we have is to look at the seller themselves. So I'm going to click on the seller's link, and here we can see some of the feedback that they have. It's 99.4% positive, which is a good sign. And we can see that they've been an eBay user since August 2016, which is, nearly 3 years. But I'm going to go down here and click on this one negative review that they've had and see what it says. Basically, it looks like they ordered 2, but they only got 1. So I'm guessing there's some sort of a communication error, which happens especially with people who speak a different language. So I can kind of cope with that. That's not really ringing any alarm bells from here. There's one neutral review, so we'll have a look at that. In this case, they said that the item was not satisfactory, but it was as described, which makes me think it was probably a cheap Chinese knockoff. The other thing that's a little unusual is the number of feedback. They only have a total of 200 or 300 pieces of feedback. Okay, we're back on the actual item itself here, and I've clicked on the fact that they've sold 180 of them. And scrolling down this giant list of the first 100 that they've sold, they've all been in the last few days. Now what that tells me is that because there's 30 or more days before the item will be received by any of these users, that nobody has actually received this product yet. So we have absolutely no feedback on this particular product that they're selling. So for the sake of science, I'm going to buy one. And I'll report back in a few weeks well, actually, probably more than a month when it arrives, and let you know how it went. To buy, I click the Buy It Now button. This takes me through to the checkout page, where I select my PayPal account and the credit card that I want the funds to be debited from. My address has come through from PayPal, so it knows exactly where to ship to, and then I confirm the amount and the purchase is done. It does show me the amount in US dollars here, but the conversion is up beside the credit card details. And while I'm sure this toolbox is just a cheap Chinese knockoff, I figure for $30 I'll get some tools that I can probably use once and then chuck away, and even end up with a half decent tool case out of it or something. It won't be a complete loss. And, it's all for science, isn't it? Now that's not to say that everything on eBay is cheap or dodgy whatsoever. There's stacks and stacks, millions and millions of great items. I've bought so many things on there. I've bought good quality tools. I've bought vomit bags for when the kids were feeling sick in the car. I've bought presents, jewellery, computer parts, you name it. Have I always had a great experience? No. But to be honest, eBay and PayPal's buyer protection are really good. And most of the people who are selling things are honestly just trying to get rid of some of their junk. Stuff. Wonderful things that they don't need anymore. I had a wonderful experience 10 or 12 years ago where I bought a motherboard for a PC that I needed that was just a little bit unusual in what I needed from it. And when I got it, it was perfect, except that it had come out of a custom Compaq PC and I didn't have a power supply that would fit it. So I contacted the vendor to see if there was anything they could do, whether I could return it or something. Literally a week later, the power supply that I needed turned up. He just shipped it to me, which was awesome. And I also remember when the kids were little, we bought some Duplo, which is the really big Lego, from a vendor who actually sold a lot of Lego and Duplo. And it came and it was great. It was just what we wanted. But I sent them a note back to say, you're selling lots of Lego and Duplo, and it arrived dirty. And this is, kids' toys, not the sort of thing you really want to give second-hand dirty toys to a kid. Which was fine, because we just washed it all and, it wasn't a problem. We didn't get a response back from them, but a week or two later, we got another box of more Duplo. So that was great, we had more for the kid. It still wasn't completely clean, so I'm not sure that they took that particular part of the feedback on board, but it's people, and you can't get everything you want. I've also sold a bunch of stuff on eBay, but we'll get to that in a different episode because it's a slightly more complicated process. Anyway, I hope that was useful for you. At The Tech Doctor, we're here to train the technicians of the future and make you more comfortable with your computer. There's some videos you might not have seen here and here, and there's a logo here that you can click on to subscribe. Or there's another one a bit higher up here that is a Facebook page where you can come and ask questions about technology that you might have. Thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.